Okay, welcome back to the show. It is now time to go to Raw for their 800th episode celebration, even though this was really like episode 807 or 808. Anyway, the show was from Tampa, Florida. I tell you, I did not watch the show live. I watched the Monday Night Football game only because the Redskins were on, and I wish the Redskins had done a better job, but that's not the point. Anyway, it started off with Randy Orton coming out, and he did a sit-in strike. So the first match was the Hardy Boys against Kendrick and MVP. Saw the Hardy Boys win. And I'll tell you something, what was very interesting about that match was, and I'm sure a lot of the fans are going to, go like, oh yeah, when I explain this. You know how when you watch a tag match, and I'm saying from like the late 80s through the 90s and even through today, where you get the heels got the baby face, and the baby face is about to tag his partner, and then the heel comes in, the other heel comes in, prevents the tag, and then the tag is actually made, but the ref doesn't see it, and he sends the babyface back to his corner. That happened, except it was the reverse opposite, where instead of, say, Matt Hardy being about to tag in and the tag wasn't allowed, it was MVP. And that was a very interesting ending to the match. It was different, I'll say that. I've never seen that before. I'm not going to say it's the most creative ending ever, but it was different. And, sometimes if you have a different ending than what you expect, it can be good. So, I thought it was a different ending. I thought it was a good ending. Now, also on there was the Battle Royal, 8-man Battle Royal to determine the #1 contender to the Intercontinental title. Crime Time was in there. Ted DiBiase, Cody Rhodes, Manu. Who else was in there? Snitsky was in there. Jamie Noble and William Regal were all in there. And, you know what? I'll give mad props to Jamie Noble. Noble, to me, was the star of that match. Even though you're like, how can you make a star in a battle royal? Well, if you think about it, Noble put out the best performance in that battle royal than anybody else did in there. William Regal won the match, but Noble, he was in there till about the end or close to the end of that match. So a lot of credit should be given to Jamie Noble for that. But William Regal won. He gets a shot at the Intercontinental title. Vladimir Kozlov made his Raw debut, and he fought against Bret the Hitman Hoss. Swing and a miss. Moving on. To me, the shocker for Raw Monday night was Mike Adamle stepping down as the general manager. That really surprised me. That was sort of a left field kind of moment, because I was starting to like Adamle as the GM. Excuse me. And I thought he was doing a damn good job, but, maybe something happened between him and WWE, or he had enough of the schedule and being on the road a lot and missing his family, and maybe that contributed him leaving as the general manager of Raw, resigning. It was very surprising. DX fought The Miz and Morrison, and there were a couple funny jokes in there for DX, the best one being how Shawn Michaels is losing his hair, which is actually hilarious, because Shawn Michaels, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, he had so much hair. So much hair. I mean, I don't have that much hair, but, still, this guy had a bunch of freaking hair. Now, an interesting match that took place was the 16 Diva Tag Team match, and I'm not going to name all 16, but Mae Young is the one that stands out Because I swear to God, Mae Young was beating the crap out of everybody, and then she fell backwards on one punch, and people thought that she might have been seriously hurt, but she was actually okay. And, you know, really, I mean, I'm sure this was a mutual agreement between WWE and Mae, but, you know, I would not want to see Mae Young wrestling that much if it means the possibility of her getting seriously hurt or even worse. I mean, I don't want to see a legend like Mae Young get hurt in that kind of way. And then the steel cage match, I actually did get to see part of that steel cage match, and I thought that was a very interesting way of that ending with Jericho winning. I honestly did not think Jericho was going to win that match. I thought Batista was going to stay the champion, run to at least Armageddon, then lose the belt. But, you know, that's the beauty of Raw. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you go to a wrestling event, it does not matter what promotion it is. You never know when a title change can happen. You can honestly say, you know, to your friends, to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, and when you have your kids, I was a part of history. Now, I'll tell you, one of my very close friends, Ben, this year, actually got to witness the WWE title change hands live in the arena. That is something he's never seen, and he's been a wrestling fan all of his life. And I'll share a quick story before I get to the Survivor Series report. First wrestling event I ever went to was the 1995 Survivor Series. That was the one where Bret Hart and Diesel fought for, I think, like the third time in a year and a half on pay-per-view. And I was there live for that match. And that's the one where Bret Hart wins the title. And it's very rare for any fan to go to his or her first wrestling show to say that they got to see the heavyweight title change hands. That's a very rare situation. Okay, so on that note, it is time for the Survivor Series report. The Survivor Series, ladies and gentlemen, is 2 weeks from this Sunday night, November the 23rd, live on pay-per-view or on WWE.com, taking place in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, currently, not all the matches have been announced for the Survivor Series. However, there are 2 big ones. And it starts off with the one that was announced this past Monday night after Chris Jericho winning the World Heavyweight Championship. His first title defense as the champion will take place on the 23rd of November as he faces Boston's own John Cena. This is John Cena's first match in almost 3 months. How is he going to do in the ring after being off for 3 months with a severe neck injury? Now, this may be some kind of a spoiler alert, maybe not, depending on when you watch it. But Vladimir Kozlov will challenge Triple H for the WWE Championship. Now, the Survivor Series and Triple H, it's not been nice to each other. In the 3 title matches that Triple H has been involved in the Survivor Series, he has not won a match at the Survivor Series. So maybe, just maybe, Lady Luck is riding the Russian side. That's going to do it for this week's Survivor Series report. Next week, more matches will be announced for the Survivor Series. Gonna take a quick break. When I return, TNA and Ring of Honor on the way.